All right, so it feels good to be back. I was really sick for the past 7 days, and today was the first day where I woke up and my natural energy was back, and it felt great. And I got my new glasses because I got glasses actually because I can't see the freaking flop. I was at my own game and I can't make out the flop, so I had to get some glasses. Got my glasses, energy's back, it feels great. So what I want to talk about today is little mistakes in poker. And poker is a game with a foundation of mistakes. Right? We're trying to induce the mistakes in our opponents, and we're trying to minimize the mistakes we make. And how big a mistake is or little mistake is just really cool abstract discussion in poker. And I want to talk about little mistakes just because they come up so much in coaching and with my players. So recently I discussed a hand with someone, and it was the reason why this hand went bad is because they made a little mistake. And I call these slippery slope mistakes in poker. So the example is this, right? Let's say I'm on a diet and I don't want to eat anything bad, right? But I'm in the grocery store and I see my favorite, Krispy Kreme donuts or something like that. So I tell myself, okay, I'm going to buy these Krispy Kreme donuts now. I'm going to leave them inside of my cabinet. So when I feel better, when my diet's over, I will have a celebration of one Krispy Kreme donut. And what makes no sense is why tempt myself, right? So I made a small mistake by putting those Krispy Kremes inside my actual apartment. I shouldn't have ever done that, right? And then one day I don't feel well, or maybe I made a good video and I got excited about it, or I coached a client and got excited about the performance or whatever. And I go, you know what? I need to treat myself. So screw it. I'm going to have one donut, right? And I set myself up to make a mistake. And players do this nonstop with poker, right? So they know they shouldn't they shouldn't limp with Jack 8 suited under the gun because their game's, one of those games where it's probably just not a profitable play over the long run, but they decide to limp. So they know they shouldn't be doing it, but they do it anyways. And then all of a sudden, a very tight opponent who, doesn't get out of line and is pretty well behaved, they raise to 15. So you kind of look at them and you're like, you know what? I should probably call because they have a lot of chips, I have a lot of chips, implied odds, I'll flop well and I'll stack this guy, and that's how I'm going to double up. So you call, and the board comes something, lackluster. Let's say it's like an ace 3-9, right? And you're first to act, and you're like, you know what? He could have an ace, but he probably doesn't have an ace, so I'm going to probably represent an ace, even though I have a 9 here, and blah, 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 blah. So you turn a pair of 9s into some sort of weird bluff, and you lead out for the pot, and then your opponent re-raises you, and you're like, you know what? I think he's bluffing. I think I can get him to fold ace-jack, ace-queen, blah, 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 whatever. And you shove. And the guy looks at you and he goes call and shows you ace-king. And it's like, what else do you think he could have had? And the whole point about this is that, it was a little mistake. Limp calling with jack, not so bad. Flops well, blah, blah, blah. You can make some arguments for it. But then you take it to a whole nother level. You start shoving your mouth full of donuts. And I see players do this so much. And it's like in life, people forget that poker is a game where it's about making decisions. It's about making the right decisions at the table. And people are horrible at making decisions sometimes. We make bad decisions throughout our entire life. Like, we shouldn't do something and we do something else. And sometimes the best way to prevent bad decisions is to cut off, or future decisions, is to cut off the ability to even make that decision in the first place. And that's why for some players, I'm so strict about their pre-flop holding. It's not because I don't think that, speculative hands have value. I just don't trust that player's ability to actually know when to fold that hand post-flop. And players don't understand, these little mistakes, like a $15 call here, a $20 call there. All right, let me look up this guy one time and call real light. You don't understand how those mistakes compound over time. And I really feel like most players' games, you have this sum of a player's game, right? And it's the really good calls. And some people appreciate I made this great call on the river, and he showed ace high, and I was like, I showed a pair of 2s, and they were like, what are you, nuts? And that's how they get their kicks. That's how they get excited. Other players talk talk about the big folds, right? All right, I laid it down. I didn't know what he had, but I think it was good over the long run. And I like to shift, and those are great moments, right? But what's also great is your ability to cut off the little mistakes, right? To just not go there. To not do the little dumb $10, $15, $6, let me see a flop, when you have no right to be in the hand because you haven't executed or you haven't displayed the ability to know when to fold. And so many players make these little mistakes that aren't that bad. They're fine. They're probably not even mistakes over the long run, but they are mistakes because they lead inevitably to huge mistakes. And I'm looking at these people and I'm like, I get why you called, but why were you in the pot in the first place? Like what? Yeah, I know I should have folded. And so much of my coaching boils down to identifying like players' little mistakes because they don't have the ability to kind of hold back. And the reason why is in life we don't have the same ability as well, right? Like, that's why sometimes we need very, 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 very bright lines between what we can do and what we can't do to basically, and I'm no different. I do the same exact stuff. I mean, honestly, to be 100% honest with you, the only thing that probably really keeps me from like going absolutely nuts at a poker table sometimes is the fact that I coach so many damn people. Like, and the fact that I have I constantly preach about poker, and I do this exercise where I envision everybody that's ever watched me play around me. So I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I hate being a hypocrite, like saying one thing and not doing it. But you need to that's my system. But you need to put systems in place so that you don't make these little mistakes that lead to big mistakes. It is such a big mistake. Sorry for using the word mistake over and over again, but it's such a big mistake in players' games, and good players rationalize it. Oh yeah, I call out a position, I get rid of the hand worst comes to worst, but then you don't, and you just keep getting yourselves into bad spots. So instead of stressing that, oh my God, you went all in on the river and you try to make a decision on whether that was profitable or not, or whether you made this really, really, really good or bad call pre-flop for your entire stack or on the flop for your entire stack, take a look at your game and how the little mistakes matter, because they're by far the most important in my opinion, because they add up, man. They really, really, really add up. That's about it. What else? I'll tell you guys, I'm releasing a new course in January. I'm really excited about it. It's an 8-week online course. Been working like absolute crazy on it. My whole life revolves around poker right now. Super excited. schoolofcards.com/sign up. Really excited to bring this to the masses. Something that's been 5 years in the making or something like that. So longer than that, like I would say like 10 years in the making. But really excited to learn more. I'll of course update you guys. Just excited because I'm not sick and coughing every 3 seconds and not getting out of bed. It feels so great to just like have energy. It's something that like we take for granted. Like we always do. We take the simplest things, just like average health, like just waking up in the morning and feeling like, wow, I can work again, or oh wow, I can do something, or oh wow, I'm actually enjoying making these videos. We take that for granted, and one of the things is to really, really think about that sometimes. To be grateful for just the fact that we're healthy, or just for the fact that we can get up and speak. I mean, because so many people don't. So many people suffer from this like chronic, nonstop illness or chronic issues, and that's a hard and rough thing. And for those of you who have that out there, I feel for you. Anyways, schoolofcards.com/sign up. Be grateful. Don't make stupid mistakes at the table or little mistakes. Look at them in your game. I'm back. I have so much energy. I feel great. That's about it.